Well, perhaps tell you a little story. Back in 1997, I was working for this organisation, which is headed up by Tony O'Reilly, a well-known Irish business person who had been involved in South Africa. And in 97, we had a difficult situation in Northern Ireland, so we arranged to bring all the leaders from Northern Ireland to South Africa to meet Nelson Mandela, which they did, and we spent 3 days, and it was an extraordinary event. We used Cyril Ramaphosa, who was a leader, and Ralph Meyer, leaders in South Africa, who brought South Africa together in 1994 in the end of apartheid. And it was a really fascinating use of the connections that we had, particularly O'Reilly through his rugby. He played for the Lions in South Africa, and all those years later was able to use these connections to bring about a negotiation. And 1 year after those meetings in South Africa, the Good Friday Agreement in Northern Ireland was signed. And I've spoken to many of the leaders since who said it was that experience in South Africa which was really a clinching element of that deal. Oh yeah, well I would say it's more important than ever. It's a bit like asking a barber, do you need a haircut? Of course, I'm just very passionate about why networking is so important. It's more important now than ever before because we live in a totally interconnected, interdependent world. The world has changed quite dramatically. The old sort of career structures we had when people joined a company, worked, got promoted, we used to call it the escalator model of a career. That's all changed. That's all fundamentally different. So now you need your networks to survive and thrive. And so this is something which is, although it's always been with us, perhaps not at the same degree of momentum and trajectory as we have now. And what people often don't realize that as they progress through their career, the technical skills they needed in the first place to get into their jobs become less important and relationships become more important. So now you've got all sorts of different elements out there. Companies now want to hire and wire. They want to hire people and wire into their network. There's one very obvious reason why networking is more important than ever, more significant than ever, is that people who build strong and diverse networks live longer, are happier, earn more money, are more successful. So we live in a very diverse world. We live in a city here where 25% of the people in this city were not born in this country. And so we need to build diversity into our networks. We need to build social capital, and social capital are the resources available to you in your personal and business networks. We got to use serendipity and luck to influence our lives. One connection can have an extraordinary effect on our lives. So, I could go on to this at some length, but I'm just obviously fundamentally believe that this is going to be a key differentiating factor in this 21st century. People who have strong networks will be more successful.
Yeah, I'd certainly say, we abused our own power in this context in some ways. We controlled the older product that this client we had was reliant upon, and we were simply going to pull the plug on it unless they wanted to own it and support it for themselves, which they lacked both the technical expertise and the resourcing to manage. So migration to this new product was honestly their best viable alternative from the initial assessments done from each side. Though I can say that once things got tough, the other side kind of leveraged their own power in counterproductive ways, which actually eroded some of the traction that we were managing to gain. The leader that we were dealing with on the other side of this deal had a real tendency to escalate issues to leadership unnecessarily, and would get rather rude and somewhat hostile in his dealing with myself and our team. And I mean, he certainly had reason to be unhappy. These engagements often did more damage, though, than they did to make things better.